Today we'll be discussing how to customize vulnerabilities and how to create customized vulnerability policies. This will apply to all license types, so DAS, SaaS, mobile, any of them. So what you'll do in order to customize individual vulnerabilities is you'll select the vulnerabilities that you want to change. And in this case, these are DAS ones, but again, it can apply for any license type. So you'll go to Bulk Actions and Customize Vulnerability. Then you'll see the selected vulnerabilities here. So the vulnerability ID, the class, the WhiteHat rating, the customized rating if you've already customized it, the base CVSS score, the environmental CVSS score, again, if you've already set it, and then the current status. So the first option you can do is you can accept the vulnerability as a business risk. Notice how this changed the status to accepted. What this means is that you're acknowledging that yes, this is a vulnerability. So this will put it into an accepted state, which is roughly the equivalent of closed, but for us, for WhiteHat, closed means you actually fix it, whereas accepted just basically means it's closed, but not because you fixed it. You can also remove any previous customizations. Notice how it automatically changes the status back to open. And you can also change the risk rating here. So maybe you don't agree with our rating that we have set. Maybe, you want to change it in this case to high. So notice how it'll change it to high. In some cases, maybe the CVSS score and our WhiteHat rating don't match and you want it to match the CVSS score. Doesn't apply in this case, but in other circumstances it might. In which case then you can make it match the CVSS score, or again, any other rating that you feel best fits these vulnerabilities that you've selected. You can also set a CVSS environmental score by filling out these different parameters regarding how they actually apply to that particular site, that particular vulnerability. You can add any reason that you want for these changes and then hit save. Now, a couple of things to note is that if you were to accept any vulnerabilities that would fail your PCI compliance, if that's important to you, then on the PCI compliance report in Sentinel, those will still appear on that report. The only way to get those off your report is to actually fix them. Another thing to note is that only admins will be able to make these adjustments. Anyone else, any other user level, will not be able to. So only admins will be able to make these changes. Then if you want to do an overall vulnerability policy, because you don't want to do this on a case-by-case basis, you just want to have a general one, what you'll do is, again, you'll have to be an admin, but you'll go to the Admin tab, and you'll go to the Risk Management tab. And here you can create a policy. So if I hit Create Policy, just give the policy, a name. Select the asset type, so, sites and APIs, applications and mobile applications. In this case, we'll do sites and APIs. Hit Next. In the second step, this is where you will be applying these specific customizations. Now, we'll take abusive functionality as an example. Let's say that you don't agree with our WhiteHat rating. So you click on the risk rating, and you'll see our default here, high. Let's say you want it to match the CVSS score, which is medium. You change it to medium. It gets this icon, which you'll see next to any vulnerability on the Findings tab that has been changed from WhiteHat's default rating. So that's just a quick visual so you know it's not WhiteHat's default rating. And then you can apply it in the third step to whichever assets that you want to automatically have this abusive functionality change to medium, have the risk rating change to medium. And then it would automatically change any abusive functionality findings that already exist and any new ones that we find. If you don't want to change the risk rating, but you want to accept an overall vulnerability class as a business risk, you can check it. But I would exercise extreme caution with this because while we have these general vulnerability classes, we have a lot of subclasses for most of these vulnerability classes. And maybe you're not interested in some subclasses, but you'd be interested in other subclasses. But if you accept the overall class as a business risk, you're never going to see any of the ones you might be interested in. So I really do encourage you to use this particular piece of functionality with, as I said, extreme caution. So then any changes you make here, you'll go to the third step, and you're going to assign the assets. So you can choose from all groups or a specific set of assets from a certain group. Then just make sure that the assets that you want to apply this particular policy to are in the right-hand side. Hit save, and then you'll be able to see your policy here. and see how many apply to it, etc. Now, another thing that is important to note is that your rating methodology has to be set to WhiteHat Advanced. You won't have this option to adjust under risk management to create a customized vulnerability policy, or even on the findings tab when I went over how to customize individual policies or individual vulnerabilities. You won't be able to see that if it's on Legacy. So if it's on WhiteHat Legacy, you won't be able to see it. So if you're not seeing what I've shown you now, go ahead, hop into rating method, and check to make sure that you are on Advanced. If you have any other questions on how to customize vulnerabilities or set vulnerability policies or anything like that, please feel free to reach out to our technical support team.